How does listening affect change?
The most important skill that a leader can have in this age of change is listening. And the difficulty is most of us have had more of our talk on how do we communicate, how do we present, very little on the listening side. But if you think about it from a change point of view and you talk about empowerment, one of the principal empowerment skills is listening. The best manager I ever had was the first one I worked for, Stanford Linear Accelerator in Palo Alto, California. I was 17 years old. My first big job, I'd never worked. It was a construction project. We built the mile-long electron microscope that they have there. And at 17, I worked hard. He came to me on Friday and he said, Terry, every week I take a walk with every employee. And Friday's going to be your day. And I looked at him like, all right. I'd never worked, so I didn't know what a boss did, and I was trying to figure it out. They walk with people. And I went on this walk, and the question he asked me that blew me away was the first question he asked was this. He said, Terry, you've been here a week now. What's working for you? I remember looking at him like, what? I was 17 years old. I was a junior in high school, and no one had ever asked me that question. What do we ask teenagers? You know, how's it going in school? How's it going in sports? Are you on drugs? Very seldom do we say to a teenager, it's working. And I said, well, the guys taught me how to load the truck. I was a truck driver, essentially. And he said, good, Terry, I'm glad you learned from the guys, but when I first met you, I knew there was something special about you. In fact, I expect to learn something from you this summer. I'm going to ask you this question every week. I don't know if you were like me, but I got through school learning my teacher paradigm. What I mean by the teacher paradigm is the first test, you have no idea how they're going to test. But after that first test, do they use the text? Do they use the notes? And as soon as you find out, there's nothing on the text, burn the text. All right, but this guy told me something different. He said, I'm going to give you a test, but I'm not going to give you any answers. Every single week I'm going to ask this question. He ruined my summer because every single Thursday, if nothing had worked, I had a mission. I had to have something because my walk was Friday. And every single Friday he asked that question. He is the best listener I have ever reported to in my life. I'm a fast talker and I tend not to pause too much. So I'm bothered by a slow talker. I don't know if that happens to you. I kind of go, roll them. Not this guy. He'd wait me out, and every time I said something, he'd say, God, tell me more. Oh, I like that. He got more excited about my ideas. Twice that summer he said, Terry, would you mind if we brought this up during staff meeting? And of course, being male and being cool, you kind of go, hey, sure. Then at the staff meeting, I thought he'd forgotten. All of a sudden, he looked at me halfway through and he said, Terry came up with something the other day. In fact, he did such a good job of explaining it to me. I remember looking at him like, God. And he said, Terry, go ahead. And I looked at him the whole time. I shared my idea twice. They made changes as a result of that. He helped make me. Not by his dynamic speech, not by his sense of humor, but he was a focused listener that got more excited about my ideas than he did about his own. You see, when I look at leadership, you can tell your best leaders. They get more excited about their team's ideas than they do about their own. And that's what makes for empowerment. And if you don't have that, and if you can't get excited about it, you will never empower people.